Haribo,
Hare
Hi,
Krishna
Krishna.
Maharaj.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. Dandava Pranam.
welcome.
Welcome,
So,
Maharaj. I'll make you co-host now. You can start. Hi, Krishna Gurudev.
Haribo.
You can start now.
Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivardhari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Chayorada Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai. Welcome everybody. Let's first just see who's there. Hmm. That's strange.
On your videos, please. Put on your videos, devotees.
I don't know what's going on here. Ooh. Who's got this dancing sheep with them?
Gurudev, that's Bhakti Raghupati.
Okay, I'm trying to. There we go. All right. I'm not getting that. My Zoom is not showing up everybody all at once. It's just small part, small thing in the corner. Okay, let's just go around to meet everybody. You've all been together, I guess, for a while, so I just don't know everybody. Bhakti Raghupati, where are you?
Maharaj, please, here am I.
In my head.
Where are you?
Maharaj,
Accra Media.
Hare
Bhakti
Krishna Maharaj.
Raghupati, introduce yourself. Say your name and where you're joining from.
Okay. Maharaj, please, my name is Raghupati Das from ISKCON, Ghana.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 13.
Good, all right. And Chaitanya Prema, we know.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Okay.
Bhuvanapati,
14.
Surya Narayan, where are you? It's also in Ghana.
Yes,
Huh?
please, Maharaj. Yes, please.
Base Africa.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. It's
Lagos.
Janmastami this Dasi from Lagos.
Base Utpala. Well, we know him also. He's our champion book distributor.
Utpala, are you there?
He's in Lagos.
Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj, accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Hare Krishna Maharaj. I am at ICA, Lagos.
Yeah,
We just came back from Harinam. I am on Sankirtan.
good. Okay, then we have Purushottam Yatra. The cowherd boy, I heard.
Yes, he is. And he's
That's
doing
very
very,
good.
very well.
That's the topmost service.
Yes.
Actually, I'm taking the couch out now. That's why my phone is in my pocket. I'm from Ghana. Yes, Ghana.
Where are you?
He's on the field with the cows.
Where's Pranapriya?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my obeisances.
Wow.
From where?
ISKCON,
Where are
Lagos. Panapriya Devi Dasi.
ISKCON, Lagos.
Gaura Shakti, that's in Togo.
Yes.
Arthur, Bhakta Arthur.
Benin, Nigeria.
I'm in Togo, Lomé.
Okay. All right.
Hare Krishna.
So we're
Hare
working
Krishna, Gurudev. Dhanavad Pranam. I'm in Lomé, Togo.
nectar of instruction.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, before you continue, please, we want to introduce Maharaj to devotees. Everybody know that His Holiness Kavichandra Swami Maharaj is the GBC for West Africa, Japan, and many other places. So he's a very busy person, but he has decided to give us his association. So please,
Israel and Indonesia also.
yes. So let us take full advantage of this opportunity. Please conduct yourselves on your videos as much as possible. Be interactive, and please don't misbehave. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Haribo.
So this book, The Nectar of Instruction, is a special little book by Rupa Goswami. Upadeshamrita, 11 instructions how to be a devotee, which is hopefully what we want. So Krishna somehow wants me to study this book because I got another class 5 days a week on the same book. I just finished the first week, and then I start over again. So somehow special mercy. So the first verses have quite long purports, very extensive purports. In many ways, Prabhupada is referring to the ISKCON society, our ISKCON society, what we're supposed to be doing, what we are doing, how wonderful it is to facilitate following all these instructions. So we'll start with the preface. And I have to assign somebody to call on people to read. Who would like to do that? Bhuvana Pati. If you can look, there's a list, when you look under participants, and you just say, okay, Utpala, you read, then go down the list so that we can move along pretty quickly because we have a lot to cover. All right, who's the first to read? Utpala, you can start then.
Maharaj, I don't have the book. I'm in the field.
Okay, who has the book? It's available online if you have a internet.
Yes, Maharaj.
One thing about Zoom, you can keep Zoom on and you can still look up the book online.
Yes, Maharaj.
Doesn't turn you off of Zoom,
Let me see if that is.
I'm with the book.
Who has a book? Who has it open? Who has it online? Because it's very hard.
I have the book. I have the book, Gurudev.
Okay, please read. Read clearly, very clearly.
Please, Gurudev, am I starting from the 11 lessons in the ancient times of Bhakti?
Preface.
Okay.
It starts with the Krishna conscious movement. See, right away he talks about our movement.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Preface. The Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Sri Narottam Das Thakur has sung Rupa Raghunatha Padehaibe Akute Kabe Hama Bujaba Se Yogala Piriti. When am I eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis? When I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the science of Krishna. The most exalted of all the activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of the gopis. Therefore, To understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana, Bhakta Raghunath, Sri Jiva, Gopala Bhatta, and Dasa Raghunath. Sri Rupa Goswami was the leader of all the Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us this Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction, to follow as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known as Shishastaka. Rupa Goswami gave us Upadeshamrita so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Everyone within the material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. One must promote himself to the platform of goodness, Sattva Guna, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami, and then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. A follower of a Krishna conscious movement should become a perfect Goswami. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavan, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses, and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Upadesamrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books, such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidagda Madhava, and Lalita Madhava. But Upadesamrita consists the first instructions for neophyte devotees. One should follow this instruction very strictly. Then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna.
Wow. Okay, so Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that's the nectar of devotion. Have you read that one, done that one already? Anyway, it's also all instructions, everything in detail. What are the offenses, how to serve, why to serve, where to serve, who to serve, everything and very, very carefully laid out all the way up to, Radha Krishna Leela. So this book also starts with verse 1, which is about controlling the senses, because that's what yoga is all about. In basic yoga, people try to control their senses by not using them, which is very, very hard because the mind is always active. But in bhakti, we use them for spiritual purposes, looking at Krishna, chanting Krishna, talking about Krishna. So we'll go to verse number 1. I recommend when we're studying this book, you memorize these verses. They'll stick with you and you'll be very happy that you know them. It's just a matter of spending 10 or 15 minutes a day repeating them. Okay, I'll read the first verse in Sanskrit and you can all repeat. Vachu Begam Manasakrota Begam. Everybody?
Vachu Begam, Manasa Kruda Begam.
Jiva Begam, Udara Pasta Begam.
Jiva Begam, Udaru Pasta Begam.
Etan Begam, Yo Visaheta Dira.
Etan Yo Vishade Dira.
Sarvam Apimam Prithivim Nashishat.
Sarvam
Apimam Prithivim Sasitsat.
Okay, someone else?
Vacho Vegam Manasa Kroda Vegam.
Vacho Vegam Manasa Kroda Vegam.
Jiva Vegam Udaro Pasta Vegam.
Jiva Vegam
Jiva Vegam Udaruspata Vegam.
Etam Vegam Yo Visahita Dira.
Etan
Etan
Vegam
Vegam Yo
Dira.
Visahita Dira.
Savam Apimam Pitivim Sa Sisyat.
Sarvam
Sarvam
Apimam
Apimam Pitivim
Nashishya.
Sa Siksiyat.
Vacho Vegam Manasa Kroda Vegam.
Vacho Vegam Manasa Kroda Vegam.
Jiva Vegam Udaro Pasta Vegam.
Jiva Vegam Udaro Pasta Vegam.
Etan Vegam Yo Visahita Dira.
Etan Vegam Yo Visahita Dira.
Sarvam Apimam Pritivim Sa Sisyat.
Sarvam Apimam Nashishya. Very good. It's very simple, right? Vacha.
Yeah.
Of
Vacha.
speech. Speech.
Of speech.
Of speech.
That's very important, right? To control our speech, control the tongue. Think before you speak, is it? Then Vega means urges, pushing. Manasa, of the mind. Repeat. Please repeat. Manasa,
Of the mind.
Manasa.
Manasa of the mind.
Krodha, of the anger.
Kroda of
Anger.
Vegam, urge.
Vegam. Urge.
Jiva, of the tongue.
Jiva of the tongue.
Vegam.
Vegam.
Udara upasta Vegam. The urge of the belly and genitals. Etan, these.
Etan, these.
Vegan, urges. Yeah, what, whoever.
Yeah, whoever.
Visaheta,
Visahita.
can tolerate. Dira, sober.
Sober.
Sarvam. Api, certainly.
Api, certainly.
Imam, this.
Imam,
Prithivim, this world. Sa Shishat, that personality can make disciples.
That personality can make disciples.
Okay, who can read next? Translation.
A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urge of the tongue, belly and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world.
Very good. So please try for that. Okay, purport. Now this, I said it's a very long purport. So we want everybody to take a turn and read it. I can read the first paragraph and then you all decide who can read more. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 6, 1, 9, and 10, Maharaj Parikshit placed a number of intelligent questions before Sukadeva Goswami. One of these questions was, why do people undergo atonement if they cannot control their senses? For instance, a thief may know perfectly well that he may be arrested for his stealing, and he may actually see another thief arrested by the police, yet he continues to steal. Experience is gathered by hearing and seeing. One who is less intelligent gathers experience by seeing, One who is more intelligent gets experience by hearing. And when an intelligent person hears from the law book and Shastris or scripture that stealing is not good and hears that a thief is punished, he refrains from thief. A less intelligent person may first have to be arrested and punished to learn to stop stealing. However, a rascal, a foolish man, may have the experience of both hearing and seeing and may even be punished. Still, he continues to steal. Even if such a person atones and is punished by the government, he will again commit theft as soon as he comes out of jail. If punishment in jail is considered atonement, what is the benefit of such atonement? So Parikshit asks, Drista Shutabhyam Yat Papam Janam Up Yat Manohitam Karoti Bhuya Vivshasha Prayaschitam Ato Katam Kochin Nivartate Badrat Pachit Charati Tat Puna Prayaschitam Ato Partam Manye Kunjara Sochavat. Now, these questions were asked right after he heard the fifth canto, the descriptions of the hellish planets. So he's wondering, why people don't learn. He compared atonement to an elephant bath. The elephant may take a nice bath, and then he comes on the bank and throws dirt all over his body. What then is the value of bathing? Similarly, many spiritual practitioners chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, at the same time commit many forbidden things, thinking that their chanting will counteract their offenses. That's the Sahajiyas, or the born-again Christians. Jesus will save me, I can do whatever I want, no one can stop sinning. Of the 10 types of offenses one could commit while chanting the holy name of the Lord, this is called Namo Balad Yasya Hi Papa Buddhi, committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Similarly, certain Christians go to church to confess their sins, thinking that confessing their sins before a priest and performing some penance will relieve them from the results of their weekly sins. As soon as the Saturday is over and Sunday comes, they again begin their sinful activities, expecting to be forgiven the next Saturday. This kind of prayaschitta, or atonement, is condemned by Parikshit Maharaj, the most intelligent king of his time. Sukadeva Goswami, equally intelligent, as befitting the spiritual master of Maharaj Parikshit, answered the king and confirmed that his statement concerning atonement was correct. A sinful activity cannot be counteracted by a pious activity. Thus, real pious chitta is awakening our dormant Krishna consciousness. It's all very clear, isn't it? Prayaschitta means to counteract. You steal something, so you have to go to jail for some time. You driving too fast, you pay some money to the police. That's prayaschitta. Then but if you keep doing it, the price goes up and up. So in pious activities, people have that idea. Well, we'll do the sinful activity, but we'll go to church on Sunday. We'll give some donation to a certain pastor and he'll benedict me that I can do whatever I want. All these things are going on and they're all condemned. Even in Africa, these things go on. In the so-called Vaishnavas, the Sahajiyas, they hear these slokas that chanting the holy name can nullify more sins than you commit. So they think, okay, I'm chanting and I can do whatever sin I want. This is the worst offense, trying to take advantage of the mercy of the Lord, and they go to very big hell. Okay, now I want others to read. Okay, there it is on the screen now. Okay, so who can read? let's do it quickly. Don't, somebody just say, so-and-so, you read.
Okay, Maharaj, so please, I'm reading.
Yeah, somebody read.
Real atonement involves coming to real knowledge. And for this, there is a standard process. When one follows a regulated hygienic process, he does not fall sick. A human being is meant to be trained according to certain principles to revive his original knowledge. Such a methodical life is described as tapasya. One can be gradually elevated to the standard of real knowledge or Krishna consciousness by practicing austerity and celibacy, brahmacharya, by controlling the mind, by controlling the senses, by giving up one's possession of charity, by being avowedly truthful, by keeping clean, and by practicing yoga asanas. However, if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a pure devotee, he can easily surpass all the practices for controlling the mind by the mystic yoga process simply by following the regulative principles of Krishna consciousness, as refraining from illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling, and by engaging in the service of the Supreme Lord under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master. This easy process is being recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami. First, one must control his speaking power. Every one of us has the power of speech. As soon as we get an opportunity, we begin to speak. If we do not speak about Krishna consciousness, we speak about all sorts of nonsense. A toad in a field speaks by croaking. And similarly, everyone who has a tongue wants to speak, even if all he has to say is nonsense. The croaking of the toad, however, simply invites the snake. Please come here and eat me. Nevertheless, although it is inviting death, the toad goes on croaking. The talking of materialistic men and impersonalist Mayavadi philosophers may be compared to the croaking of frogs. They are always speaking nonsense and thus inviting death to catch them. Controlling speech, however, does not mean self-imposed silence. The external process of mauna, as Mayavadi philosophers think, silence may appear helpful for some time, but ultimately it proves a failure. The meaning of controlled speech conveyed by Srila Rupa Goswami advocates the positive process of Krishna Kata, engaging the speaking process in glorifying the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. The tongue can thus glorify the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. The preacher of Krishna Kata is always beyond the clutches of death. This is the significance of controlling the urge to speak. The relentlessness of fickleness of the mind, Manovega, is controlled when one can fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 22:31 says, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakara. Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Mayara Adhikara. Krishna is just like the sun, and Maya is just like darkness. If the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Similarly, if Krishna is present in the mind, there is no possibility of the mind being agitated by Maya's influence. The yogic process of negating all material thoughts will not help. To try to create a vacuum in the mind is artificial. The vacuum will not remain. However, if one always think of Krishna and how to serve Krishna best, one's mind will naturally be controlled. Similarly, anger can be controlled. We cannot stop anger altogether, but if we simply become angry with those who blaspheme the Lord or the devotees of the Lord, we control our anger in Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became angry with the miscreant brothers Jagai and Madai, who blasphemed and struck Nityananda Prabhu. In his Shastaka, Lord Chaitanya wrote, Trinad api sunichena, tor api sahisnuna. One should be humbler than the grass and more tolerant than a tree. One may then ask why the Lord exhibited his anger. The point is that one should be ready to tolerate all insult to one's own self. But when Krishna or his pure devotee is blasphemed, a genuine devotee becomes angry and acts like fire against the offenders. Krodha, anger, cannot be stopped, but it can be applied rightly. It was in anger that Hanuman set fire to Lanka, but he is worshipped as the greatest devotee of Lord Ramachandra. This means that he utilized his anger in the right way. Arjuna serves as another example. He was not willing to fight, but Krishna incited his anger. You must fight. To fight without anger is not possible. Anger is controlled. However, when utilized in the service of the Lord.
Okay, Haribol. So
Hare
this
Krishna.
anger part, how to utilize the anger, we should not become angry with other devotees, of course, no matter what. But when people are against Krishna, people are blasphemous, people are preaching, atheistic sense gratification, we should be very angry. But how do we fight them? See, we don't go and burn down the church or kill somebody. What do we do? Anybody can say? What do we do to counteract someone who's preaching atheistic sense gratification, cheating philosophy? Very simple, right, Utpala? Come on. Haribol.
Through the Harinam Sankirtan.
Yes. And what else? What else?
Give book.
Yes, we teach the truth more and more enthusiastically. We should get inspired, angry. Like Arjuna, Krishna made him angry, insulted him, told him, what's wrong with you, or you're sick, you're weak, you're coward, and he made him angry, and then he fought better when he's angry. So if we get angry because to see people being cheated and misled and so many terrible things, then we get inspired to preach more, to find more and more ways to preach. Nowadays, we used to be able to get on television, but that's usually a one-time thing. And now television is very expensive, but the internet is available for everyone. And we should all be utilizing the internet also to advertise the truth. Okay, any other comment on that? We have to control the anger too, because anger is a product of lust. So we can become angry, very easily, especially in intimate situations, husband and wife, or parents and children, temple management and devotees. And we don't want to become angry. We want to become loving. Love is more powerful than anger. So when we're preaching, We may be angry at the demons, but we have love for the people being treated. So we're actually just trying to help them. So we don't, not that we're furiously angry like Lord Nrsingadev. One devotee made a super movie of Lord Nrsingadev. It started yesterday in the theaters here in India. It's supposed to be opening in theaters all over the world. So if you find out all the devotees, you can have an excuse to go to the movies when it comes to Nigeria. All right. So those are pushing of anger. So anger can be controlled by giving up lust. Anger is a product of lust. So the normal anger, we're just not getting what we want. So we're thinking somebody is stopping me from getting what I want. So I'm going to eliminate them, or I'm going to take away what they have for myself. That kind of anger is very, very no good. It's a product of lust. So Krishna says in the beginning, we have to stop the lust. Okay. Who was next? Who was that reading just now? I can't get the screen to show up properly because you have the page on the screen, so I can't see who's talking. I can't see who's there.
Is Jamasta Midasi?
Okay, now who's next? You assign someone.
Priya Mataji.
Okay, somebody?
Yes, Mother Prabhupada.
As for the urge of the tongue, we all experience that the tongue wants to eat palatable dish. Generally, we should not allow the tongue to eat according to its choice, but should control the tongue by supplying prasad. The devotee's attitude is that he will eat only when Krishna gives him prasad. That is the way to control the urge of the tongue. One should take prasad at scheduled time and should not eat in the restaurants or sweetmeat shop simply to satisfy the whims of the tongue or belly. If we stick to the principle of taking only prasad, the urge of the belly and the tongue can be controlled. In a similar manner, the urge of the genitals, the sex impulse, can be controlled when not used unnecessarily. The genitals should be used to beget a Krishna-conscious child. Otherwise, they should not be used. The Krishna consciousness movement encouraged marriage not for the satisfaction of the genitals, but for the begetting of Krishna conscious children. As soon as the children are a little grown up, they are sent to our Gurukul school in Delas, Texas, where they are trained to become fully Krishna conscious devotees. Many such Krishna conscious children are required, and one who is capable of bringing forth Krishna conscious offspring is allowed to utilize his genitals. When one is fully practiced in the method of Krishna conscious control, he can become qualified to be a bona fide spiritual master. In his Anuvriti explanation of Upade Samrita, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura writes that our material identification creates three kinds of urge: the urge to speak, the urge or demand of the mind, and the demand of the body. When a living entity falls victims to these three types of urge, its life becomes inauspicious. One who practices resisting this demand or urge is called tapavish. or one who practices austerities. By short tapasya, one can overcome victimization by the material energy, the eternal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So these are very simple and clear things, but sometimes not so easy to practice. But if we're strictly chanting japa regularly, especially and attentively, then Krishna gives us strength to follow all these things. So marriage is a concession in one sense, but it's meant for having Krishna conscious children. Bhakti Siddhanta said, if I could make devotees, I would have 100 children. Most of us couldn't afford that, but it's not like what most people think. When I was in high school, one of my friends told me, I'm getting married to so-and-so. And I thought, wow, why would anybody want to get married? Yuck. And he said, no, just think I can have sex whenever I want. She'll be right there all the time. So that is not, I'm sure that marriage didn't last very long, but I don't remember meeting that boy again, but they get entangled and have children. But devotees, they control eating Krishna prasadam only, not eat too much, don't eat too little, and keep it simple for the most part. But we want to offer Krishna the best, most opulent things. So if we follow these things, if we victimize by these urges, we become inauspicious. And if one is a tapasvi, which is required, tapasya is required for spiritual advancement. But our main tapasya is to 4 regular principles, chanting japa every day, and reading Prabhupada's books every day. Simple things. But we have a very difficult tapasya Prabhupada gave us. He said to cooperate together, tolerate each other, and work together. Everybody's moving in the same direction. Just like I saw you had a Rath Yatra there in Accra. So everybody's pulling the cart in the same direction, so the big heavy cart can move, no problem. If somebody's pulling from the back and somebody else is pulling from the front, and somebody else says go left and somebody says go right, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to break the cart. So we have to, the goal is we want to all love Krishna, and we want to help everybody to love Krishna. If I think I'm better than someone, then I have to help them to become better, not put them down. Okay? Very good reading. I was telling in some classes, they say that most intelligent family in England are Nigerians. Nigerian entrepreneurs are coming. Nigeria and West Africa in general has the most female entrepreneurs of any country. The women are doing wonderful businesses and startups, and many boys are, even young boys, are making all kinds of amazing inventions and internet applications and everything. So we want to channel all that intelligence to spreading Krishna consciousness. Then Nigeria can become the first Krishna conscious country. All right. Next reader.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu Guru Shakti. You can read, please. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Shastri, are you there?
Haribol, when we refer to the urge to speak.
Okay. Mataji, please, can I read?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Are we on the Sanskrit?
No, this is English.
We start from
when we refer to the urge.
Yes.
Okay. When we refer to the urge to speak, we refer to useless talking, such as that of the impersonal Mayavadi philosophers, or of persons engaged in fruitive activities, technically called karma kanda, or of materialistic people who simply want to enjoy life without restriction. All such talks or literatures are practical exhibitions of the urge to speak. Many people are talking nonsensically and writing volumes of useless books, and all this is the result of the urge to speak. To counteract this tendency, we have to divert our talking to the subject of Krishna. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, text number 10 to 11. Nayad Vakchas Chitra Padam Hare Yaso Jagat Pavitram Pragrinita Karichit Tad Vayasam Tirtam Ushanti Manasa Nayatrahamsa Niramantyutik Shaya. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect person are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. Tadvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Pratishlokam Abadavatsyapi Namani Anantasya Yaso Inki Taniyat Shrin Vanti Jayanti Grinanti Sadava. On the other hand, that literature, which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words, directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world, misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literature, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest.
Very good.
The conclusion of
very good. You've got the Sanskrit very good. I just want to mention this last line. They're heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. One of my godbrothers, Vaisheshika Prabhu, who is still a champion book distributor, I was with him when he was about 17 years old, and he would hand people the Srimad Bhagavatam and say, these books are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who were thoroughly honest. I'm sure you would like it. People have a hard time to refuse. So there's so many books in the world I haven't seen in West Africa such bookshops. Like in some countries, there's bookshops which are 4 stories high, 5 floors, huge bookshops with billions of books, but they're all the same. They all have maybe a few have some kind of, yoga or something, but mostly just history and speculation and fiction about romance and war and Nigeria, the same quality of books. I've never seen such big bookstores, but every airport has a bookshop. But the books are the same, whether they have 1,000,000 books or 100 or 200, the same. They're just the same thing over and over and over again. We have our bookshelf with maximum 100 books or something, but they're all, each one of them is enough to get you back to Godhead. Okay, you're reading very nicely. Maybe you had a lot of practice in your childhood reading Krishna book. So can read the conclusion. Ramachandra, finish that up. The conclusion.
Okay. The conclusion is that only when we talk about devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can we refrain from useless, nonsensical talk. We should always endeavor to use our speaking power solely for the purpose of realizing Krishna consciousness. As for the agitations of the flickering mind, they are divided into 2 divisions. The first is called Aviroda Priti, or unrestricted attachment, and the other is Viroda Yukta Krodha, anger arising from frustration. Adherents to the philosophy of the Mayavadis believe in the fruitive results of karma vadis and believe in plans based on materialistic desires are called Aviroda Priti Dhyanis. Karmis and materialistic plan makers generally attract the attention of conditioned souls. But when the materialists cannot fulfill their plans, and when their devices are frustrated, they become angry. Frustration of material desires produce anger. Similarly, the demands of the body can be divided into 3 categories: the demands of the tongue, the belly, and the genitals. One may observe that these 3 senses are physically situated in a straight line as far as the body is concerned, and that the bodily demands begin with the fang. If one can restrain the demands of the fang by limiting its activities to the eating of prasadam, the urge of the belly and the genitals can automatically be controlled. In this connection, Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura says, Sarira avidya jala, jadendriya tahe kala, jive files visaya sago gare, tara madhye jiva ati, lobo maya sudurmati, taki jita katina samsari, Krishna bada daya maya, kare baye jiva jaya, swaprashada anadilabai, say anmamrita kayo. Radha Krishna Guna Gao. Preme Daka Chaitanya Nitai. Oh Lord, this material body is a lamp of ignorance, and the senses are a network of paths leading to death. Somehow or other, we have fallen into the ocean of material sense enjoyment, and of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable. It is very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world, but you, dear Krishna, are very kind to us. You have sent this nice prasada to help us conquer the tongue. Therefore, let us take the prasada to our full satisfaction and glorify your lordships, Shri Radha and Krishna, and in love call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Prabhu Nityananda.
Right.
There
Thank you.
are 6
Thank you, Haribol. So that
Hare Krishna.
prasadam prayer, many devotees know this, the Bengali, Sharira Vijayal, but not so many know the translation. So here we just read it. You can see it's a very, very deep prayer and very philosophical and complete in itself. And if we really meditate on that when we take prasadam, it will help us to make spiritual advancement. It's special mercy prasadam that it can be yoga to eat nice tasting food, because in ordinary yoga, one cannot not eat anything that tastes nice. To be very austere. You're supposed to just not use your senses at all, because they can drag you away. So that drives people crazy, trying to not think, not hear, not see. So we have to think about Krishna and hear about Krishna, see Krishna. We have deities, we have kirtan, songs about Krishna, and special mercy. So the tongue, it can speak and it can taste. So it wants to do both. It wants to eat anything and everything, and it wants to say anything and everything. So we learn to control the tongue. Think before you speak. Think before you eat. Because whatever you do to satisfy the tongue will go into your belly, and you have to deal with it. If we eat the wrong things, if we eat too much, then we're in trouble. And if we get disturbed, we want to, we don't like what somebody is saying to us, and we lose control of our tongue, we can create World War III. If we just Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, or learn how to. I've been thinking, I wish I knew Bhagavad Gita. One Indian man, he said they were making an AI map app for the phone. They're going to make it artificial intelligence Krishna. And that I said, oh, that sounds kind of crazy. But then it was a good idea. He said, you could ask any question to Krishna, and then he would tell you the Bhagavad Gita verses which answer your question. So if we study Bhagavad Gita and we learn, any situation comes up, we just remember the sloka that's applicable to it, and we repeat it. We'll make great advancement, and everyone around us will also make advancement. All right, very good reader. Congratulations. You have good teachers. Where did you study? Where did you?
I studied Lord Krishna's Academy.
Okay, well, that's very good, because I even know people that are like my godbrothers that have trouble reading the Sanskrit because they didn't learn properly how to read. You learned the phonics. That's very good. Okay. Someone else now?
Okay.
There are 6 kinds of rasas.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Who is this?
This is Damodara Das from Lagos Temple.
Okay.
Okay, Maharaj.
Yeah.
There are 6 kinds, Maharaj?
Yeah. 6 kinds
Okay.
of.
There are 6 kinds of rasa, tastes. And if one is agitated by any one of them, he becomes controlled by the urges of the tongue. Some people are attracted to the eating of meat, fish, crab, eggs, and other things produced by semen and blood, and eaten in the form of dead bodies. Others are attracted by eating vegetables, creepers, spinach, or milk products, but all for the satisfaction of the tongue's demands. Such eating for sense gratification, including the use of extra quantities of spices like chili and tamarind, is to be given up by Krishna conscious person. The use of pan, haritaki, betel nuts, various spices used in pan making, tobacco, LSD, marijuana, opium, liquor, coffee, and tea is indulged in to fulfill illicit demands. If we can practice accepting only remnants of foods offered to Krishna, it is possible to get free from Maya's victimization. Vegetables, grains, fruit, milk products, and water are proper foods to offer to the Lord, as Lord Krishna himself prescribes. However, if one accepts prasada only because of its palatable taste and thus eats too much, he also falls prey to trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us to avoid very palatial dishes, even while eating prasadam. If we offer palatable dishes to the deity with the intention of eating such nice food, we are involved in trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. If we accept the invitations of a rich man with the idea of receiving palatable foods, we are also trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. I should continue, Maharaj?
Yeah.
In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila 6227, it is stated, Jivera lalashe ye iti utidaya, sisno dara parayana Krishna nahi paya. That person who runs here and there seeking to gratify his palasha and who is always attached to the desires of the stomach and genital is unable to attain Krishna. As stated before, the tongue, belly, and genitals are all situated in a straight line, and they fall in the same category. Lord Chaitanya has said, Bala na kaibe, ara bala na paribe. Do not dress luxuriously and do not eat delicious foodstuff. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila 6:236. Those who suffer from diseases of the stomach must be unable to control the urges of the belly, at least according to the analysis. When we desire to eat more than necessary, we automatically create many inconveniences in life. However, if we observe fasting days like Ekadasi and Janmastami, we can restrain the demands of the belly. As far as the urges of the genitals are concerned, there are two proper and improper or legal and illicit sex. When a man is properly mature, He can marry according to the rules and regulations of the Shastras and use his genitals for begetting nice children. That is legal and religious. Otherwise, he may adopt many artificial means to satisfy the demands of the genital, and he may not use any restraint. When one indulges in illicit sexual life as defined by the as defined by the Shastras, either by thinking, planning, talking about, or actually having sexual intercourse, or by satisfying the genitals by artificial means, he is caught in the clutches of Maya. These instructions apply not only to householders, but also to the Tyagis, or those who are in the renounced order of life. In his book, Prima Vivata, chapter 7, Sri Jagadananda Pandita says, Vairagya Bai Granya Kata Nasunibe Kane Grania Vata Na Kahive Yabe Malibe Swapne O Nara Akara by Tri Sambhasane Grihe Shri Chadiya by Asiyache Vana Yadi Chaya Pranaya Rakite Goranga Gorangira Shane Shota Haridasira Kata Take Gena Mane Vala na Kaibe Ara Fala na Paribe Hridayate Radha Krishna Sarvada Sevibe. My dear brother, you are in the renounced order of life and should not listen to talk about ordinary worldly things, nor should you talk about worldly things when you meet with others. Do not think of women even in dreams. You have accepted the renounced order of life with a vow that forbids you to associate with women. If you wish to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you must always remember the incidents of Chota Haridas and how he was rejected by the Lord. Do not eat luxurious dishes or dress in fine garments, but always remain humble and serve their Lordship Shri Radha Krishna in your heart of hearts.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody knows the story of Chota Haridas?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a special Leela to teach a lesson. It said after that, all the sannyasis got very much afraid. So Lord Chaitanya actually, Haridas was a big singer, and devotees would hear him singing for Lord Chaitanya even after he disappeared. But it's a basic instruction, and this is not only for sannyasis, but you should associate with women, even if you're a householder, only for the purpose of devotional service, including the wife. Not that we hate women or anything, but we keep this association properly. Long ago, there was brahmacharis would become women haters, and they could, when they got married, they always had trouble. I said, so you shouldn't, talk prajalpa. We shouldn't be just, talking about the politics and the news, because it's the same old thing over and over again. And it's completely devoid of Krishna consciousness. We have to know a little bit what's going on, but when we talk amongst devotees, we might have to know a little bit, but we mainly want to talk about Krishna. So if you want to associate with Lord Chaitanya, you have to remember Haridas. and do not eat luxurious dishes or dress in fine garments. Now we want to offer the most luxurious, wonderful things to Krishna, and we can eat them, but in not so much. But when we're offering, we shouldn't be thinking, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to cook so nice, I'm going to use all the ghee in the Indian shop, and I'm going to cook for Krishna, and I'm going to have the biggest feast ever. That's not for Krishna then. We should want to cook the nicest things for Krishna and distribute them to others, and we take simple food. And we want to go to the Indian house or anybody's house. We know they're going to have very nice prasadam, and by taking the prasadam, it pleases them and makes them devotees. But we shouldn't go there thinking, oh, I'll get a good feast. We're going there to spread the holy name and the philosophy of Krishna. So that's what Lord Chaitanya especially told. He gave all the Goswamis special instructions, write books like this, do like this. Just recite Srimad Bhagavatam. He told Raghunath Bhatta. Raghunath Das, he told him, don't dress opulently and don't eat opulently. Now, he was like the richest man in Bengal. He was the only son of his uncle and father. So he would inherit the biggest wealth in all of Bengal, but he left it all. He told him, don't dress opulently. We dress nicely because we're preaching, so we have to be clean and neat, but not that we're going to the designer shop to get first-class clothes and designer sunglasses and everything to impress people. We don't have to do that. Okay? Who's next? The conclusion.
I can continue, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. I would
Yes.
like to read conclusion.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
The conclusion is that one who can control these 6 items, speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals, is to be called a Swami or Goswami. Swami means master, and Goswami means master of the go or senses. When one accepts the renounced order of life, he automatically assumes the title of Swami. This does not mean that he is the master of his family, community, or society. He must be master of his senses. Unless one is master of his senses, he should not be called Goswami, but Godasa, servant of the senses. Following in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, all Swamis and Goswamis should fully engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As opposed to this, the Godasa engage in the service of the senses, in the service of the material world. They have no other engagement. Prahlad Maharaj has further described the Godasa as Adanta Go, which refers to one whose senses are not controlled. And Andata Go cannot become a servant of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, verse 30, Prahlad Maharaj has said, Matina Krishna Parata Swatova Mito Vipadita Griha Vratana Adanta Gobir Vishata Tamisram Puna Charvita Charva Nam. For those who have decided to continue their existence in this material world for the gratification of the senses, there is no chance of becoming Krishna conscious, not by personal endeavor, by instruction from others, or by joint. Okay. Would you mind scrolling for me, please?
Well, what?
Okay. Yes, okay. Yes, it's fine now. For those who have decided to continue their existence in this material world for the gratification of their senses, there is no chance of becoming Krishna conscious, not by personal endeavor, by instruction from others, or by joint conferences. They are dragged by the unbridled senses into the darkest region of ignorance, and thus they madly engage in what is called chewing the truth. Hare Krishna.
Okay, very good. So we got through that pretty quick. You're all good readers. And I didn't throw in a lot of comments because I didn't know how much time we have altogether. These purports are very detailed and, going over the points in the verse over and over again. So we're very fortunate that Prabhupada gave us this book. I know how it came about. One of my godbrothers, he had gone to Vrindavan to meet Prabhupada, but Prabhupada had already left, and he ended up staying with some Gaudiya Math. Prabhupada told him. And then when he finally met Prabhupada again, he had this book with him because in their ashram they were studying it, and he said Prabhupada to just translate. So Prabhupada translated and wrote these purports. So would anybody like to say anything about what they've learned from this? Or what they remember? Please, somebody. Yes, Utpala is always preaching. Are you there?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Damodar Das from Lagos Temple.
All
right, go ahead.
Okay, so Maharaj, I just wanted some a little clarification on the prasad and the proper consciousness as to how we should approach giving or offering boga to the Lordship. So some of us may have the mindset of preparing very nice, palatable dishes for their Lordship and for the day devotees. And in doing this, we might want to spend maybe spend some money or spend a lot of money in making it look very luxurious, or getting very nice, making very nice palatable dishes for the Lordship and the devotees to enjoy. So, Gurudev, I want to know: is this mindset is it wrong to think in such a way?
No, it's good. But because Krishna is, he's a Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the kitchen is his most favorite place. And the kitchen is Radharani's place. So we just have to cook in the mood of Radharani. And Radharani cooked for Krishna, of course. And after Krishna ate everything, then she would get the remnants and share with all her friends who helped her. So that's fine. It's just if we're thinking, I'm going to enjoy this like anything after it's offered, and while we're offering, we're just thinking, well, when will I get to eat it? You know, that's not so good. But we want the devotees to get nice prasadam because that enlivens them. They should just understand that why it's so nice is because it's been offered to Krishna. So we want to think like that. Of course, if we have the money, we shouldn't spend and go into debt. That won't please Krishna. But we should think how to get first class everything for Krishna. This is a rule of deity worship. And when we distribute really nice prasadam, that attracts the devotees, it attracts people, makes devotees want to stay. It makes you want to invite more people. Like we had in Japan, we had one Bengali boy who wasn't a very good cook. He was the main cook. And then there was one Indian lady who was a super cook. And she was only cooking one day a week. And our one brahmachari said, when she cooks, I can invite people to come for prasadam. You know, he didn't want to invite people when the prasadam is not very nice, you know, but when the prasadam is really nice, everybody's enlivened. And so this is, you know, Prabhupada taught us that. Lord Chaitanya also, he'd love to eat the cooking of Gadadhar Pandit, who's actually Radharani. Raghunath Bhatta was also a very good cook. Mother Sachi, his cooking is glorified by everyone. Yes, good question. And so let's all try to do that. Think big, to cook really nice for Krishna. Even if it's just a Raj Bhog and it's not a huge amount for everybody, but all the prasadam should be, even if it's only a few preparations, should be super first class. One thing that's mentioned in this purport might be very difficult there in West Africa is not so much chilies. Because chilies agitate too much chili. A little bit chili is good for digestion, but then when you have chili, you need oil also. So the chili doesn't burn your flesh. You need the oil. And then when you take too much oil, you need more chili, and it's not the most healthy mentally or physically. So we learned some proper spicing. Okay. Anyone else? Question or comment? I'd like to hear comments.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Yeah.
I would like you to come back on the episode of Chota Haridas. His name is mentioned in the purport, but
Yeah.
I don't know much about what is said about him.
Yeah, well, he's from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was a close associate of Lord Chaitanya and an expert kirtan singer. And Chota means small. Haridas, I think he was young.
Okay.
And Lord Chaitanya was eating at someone's house, and he was glorifying the rice. And he said, "Where did you get such fine rice?" And they said, "Well, Chota Haridas begged it from one Mataji, who was a sister of Sikhi Mahiti, and she's considered one of the most advanced devotees." And then Lord Chaitanya got very upset, and this woman was very beautiful. And he said this Chota Haridas was looking at her, and he's a sannyasi, he's looking at her in a lusty mood. And he said, "I don't want to see him anymore."
Mhm.
And the devotees were begging Lord Chaitanya, "Please be merciful." but he was very strict about it. Finally, after 1 year, this Chota Haridas was just crying, and Lord Chaitanya asked, "Where is he?" And they said he went to the Ganga, some special place in the Ganga, and tied stones on his feet and drowned himself, because he was condemned. So Lord Chaitanya said, "Good." And then it's explained that this was a special, warning, that not an ordinary thing, but a special warning to devotees to be very, very careful, about associating with women. Because he had gone there on the order of another devotee to beg the rice. But then it said that the devotees would sometimes hear him singing for the pleasure of Lord Chaitanya, even after he was gone. So he was actually blessed. But then all the devotees became very, very careful to not even think of women in their dreams, and there's a long explanation about this particular thing. Prabhupada said that, he said that was Lord Chaitanya. He said, "I can't be like that." And one Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, "Yeah, Prabhupada, if you were like that, we wouldn't have any devotees left." But Prabhupada said, "No, I can't. That's Lord Chaitanya only can be like that." Prabhupada was very, very liberal and forgiving of everything. At the same time, very strict. Because if we're not careful, Prabhupada doesn't have to punish us. Material nature will do it. So you can, it's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, just look up Chota Haridas. Even if you just search on anywhere, Chota Haridas, you'll find it. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Guru. Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Please, I have one question. And during the course of the reading, it was mentioned that so as not to avoid being a Godasa, we should always try to follow the Shastric injunction regarding household life. So I wanted to hear from you, Maharaj. What is the Vedic instruction regarding taking more than one wife?
Well,
what is the position of the Veda regarding that?
In the Vedic culture, of course, rich men, kings, they would have many wives. But there's regulations. The second wife should be of a lower caste, standard than the first wife, and on and on. In this day and age, in our society, Prabhupada just said, one wife. Lord Ramachandra, even as a king, who had, like Krishna had 16,000 wives. Lord Ramachandra took a vow, which is considered a very difficult vow, only one wife. For a king, very, very difficult. And he stuck to that even after Sita was gone. He wouldn't, he had to do some yajna that required his wife to be with him. And they were telling him you can get another wife. He had, for him, that's no problem. But he wouldn't do that. He made a murti of Sita and sat next to that murti. So in Kali Yuga, most people can't even maintain one wife. Now in America, even what Prabhupada even said in his time, he asked some woman, is your son getting married? He said, no, he can't afford it. Even he's working, they're afraid they can't afford to be married and have children and live, support their own house. So we can't follow the ancient, Vedic. Now I know in West Africa there's chiefs and stuff. I don't know anymore. I know, that had many wives. Many of the devotees, the older devotees' fathers had many wives, but they could support them. And somehow the culture was that the wives could get along with each other. Otherwise, it can be dangerous. Like, they'll fight with each other. They'll be envious. It's not very easy to take care of even one person. Okay? So we can't follow the traditional Vedic, Nanda Maharaj, I think maybe only one. Vasudeva had something like 14 wives. All the Pandavas had 2 or 3 wives. But they could take care of all of them very nicely, materially and spiritually and in every way, mentally. Keep them all satisfied. Because the marriage was not for lust. All right?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Okay, now we got quite a few more than when I first came on.
I agree, Gurudev.
Yes.
I want to ask questions. It's Raja Goyam from Port Harcourt Temple. You spoke about Ramachandra and the rest having Ramachandra performing sacrifice for him to maintain one wife or so. So is it advisable for we the devotees to have more than one wife? Is it advisable?
No.
Okay.
Best to remain brahmachari, bro. No, better we have one wife and take good care of that wife. This is Prabhupada's basic rule he gave. I know one of my godbrothers, he tried many times to have many wives and everything was a complete failure. And ended up with many divorces and many unpleasantnesses. And he had a lot of money. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Maharaj, please, I have one question. According to how to control the tongue by honoring Prashadam, please, if let's say you are going on a road trip and you don't have Prashadam with you, but you have some fruits, is it advisable to offer it at that time and eat, or you can pray on it and eat? How?
If you're traveling and you don't have any prasad, best is we try to have something with us that won't go bad, some kind of bread or sandwiches or whatever, fruit. Otherwise, we can offer things. It's an emergency, so we apologize to Krishna, but just make sure that it's pure, There are things you can buy in the road there, sweet potatoes roasted or corn roasted or something. But not that we make that the habit. We just go to some restaurant. It depends on your what kind of austerity you can have. And no grains. Don't take grains cooked by karmas. Vegetables, fruits, all right. Milk, cheese. Best if you travel, carry some fried paneer with you. That keeps for a long time. Okay. I heard that sometimes Prabhupada would eat on the airplane even because somehow the devotees spaced out and didn't get his prasadam on the plane with him. But he would not take any grains. But he didn't try to make that a habit, just maybe one time.
Thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Like Indian men in the old days, they would only eat their wife cooking. And when they traveled, the wife would make like parathas and different things, which can keep for a long time. And they just carry that with them. And I know some of them, if they ran out of prasadam, they just would fast. Or if they could go to a temple, they would eat temple prasadam, but otherwise they wouldn't eat. Nowadays, much different. So many people eat in restaurants. Wives don't cook for their husbands anymore. She's also working and cooking and eating in restaurants. Okay, we're getting a big number now. What is it? 16? Yeah, very good. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gurudev.
I'll have to visit again after. I don't know all these people. Maybe I see your face, I recognize. Ananga Mohini, Gyana Sindhu. Where are you, Ananda Mohini? Haribol?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Ananga Mohini is here.
She's in the deity kitchen and she's joining from the deity kitchen.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
She's in which temple?
Lagos Temple Maharaj.
Good. Lagos Temple has been having very good Raj Bhoga. Congratulations. Gyana Sindhu Das?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah. Where are you?
From Lagos Temple also.
Okay.
Yes, Maharaj.
Ishan Gauranga?
Ishan Gauranga, where are you? Anyway, it's from Nkoko, Ghana.
Okay, I know where Ojasi Sham Das is. He's got a huge picture of a huge family there. Yeah, he's got his whole family devotees. But that's the whole group of devotees even beyond his family. Okay. We got over most of you. Okay, so we can start on text 2. Yama Niyama. Text 2 is verses, things we shouldn't do. It's a very nice one. Achahara prayasascha.
Atyahara prayasascha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Jana sangas chalolyam cha. Sadbir Bhakti Vinashyati.
Shastri Vinashyati.
All right. Someone else?
Atyahara prayasascha.
Atyahara prayasascha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Jana sangascha laulyamcha.
Jana sangascha laulyamcha.
Sadbir bhakti vinashyati.
Sadbir bhakti vinashyati.
Chant.
Okay. Atyahara prayasascha.
Atyahara prayasascha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Jana sangascha laulyamcha.
Jana sangascha laulyamcha.
Sadbi Bhakti Vinashyati.
Sadbir bhakti vinashyati.
Raja Graham, are you there? Raja Graham, chant.
Atyahara parasasya.
Atyahara prayasascha.
Parajala lapuniya magraha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Jana sangascha luyamcha.
Jana sangascha laulyamcha.
Sabdhari bhaktari vasayati.
Sadbir
Bhakti Vinashyati.
Buba.
Very good. Enthusiastic. The word for word. Achahara.
Atyahara.
Overeating or too much collecting?
Overeating or too much collecting.
Prayasaha.
Prayasaha.
Over endeavoring.
Over endeavoring.
Cha. And. Prajalpa. Idle talk.
Idle talk.
Now you're all English speakers, so idle, and then we have idol worship, IDOL and IDLE. Similar, actually. Idol worship means just worshiping something that has no meaning, just anything. So idle talk is the same thing. It's just talking for the sake of talking, which is not necessary. Niyama. Rules and regulations.
Rules and regulations.
Agraha. Too much attachment to.
Too much attachment.
That's agraha with the long A in the beginning, and then agraha, too much neglect.
Or agraha, too much neglect.
Jana Sangha.
Jana Sangha.
Association with worldly minded person.
Association with worldly minded persons.
Cha. And. Lolyam. Ardent longing or greed.
Ardent longing or greed.
Cha. And. Sadbi. By these six. Bhakti. Devotional service. Vinashyati. Is destroyed. Is destroyed. Very serious, huh? Okay, translation.
One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following six activities. 1. Eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. 2. Over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. 3. Talking unnecessary about mundane subject matters. 4. Practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. 5. Associating with worldly-minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And 6. Being greedy for mundane achievements.
Okay. So this was another extensive purport. So yama and niyama means things you should do and things you shouldn't do. So these two verses are our yamas and niyamas. There's many different yamas and niyamas. These are things we should avoid if we want to make advancement. And the next verse is things we should do. So who would like to read the purport? We have just about 8 minutes.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please
I'd like to
read.
read. Human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. Since all conditioned living beings are under the control of the Lord's third energy, this material world is designed so that one is obliged to work. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has three primary energies or potencies. The first is called Antaranga Shakti, or the internal potency. The second is called Ta Shakti, or the marginal potency. The third is called Antaranga Shakti, or the internal potency. The second is called Sata Shakti. Okay, sorry, I'll take from the third. The third is called Ranga Shakti, or the external potency. The living entities constitute the marginal potency, and they are situated between the internal and external potencies. Being subordinate as eternal servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Jivatmas, or atomic living entities, must remain under the control of either the internal or external potency. When they are under the control of the internal potency, they display their natural constitutional activities, namely constant engagement in the devotional service of the Lord. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 13. Manastu mam parta levim prakritim ashritaha bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Prita, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. The word Mahatma refers to those who are broad-minded, not cripple-minded. Cripple-minded persons always engage in satisfying their senses, sometimes expand their activities in order to do good for others through some ism. Please, would you mind scrolling up for me? The nationalism, humanitarianism, or altruism. They may reject personal sense gratification for the sense, so they may reject personal sense gratification for the sense gratification of others, like the members of their family, community, or society, either national or international. Actually, all this is extended sense gratification from personal to communal to social. These may all be very good from the material point of view, but such activities have no spiritual value. The basis of such activities is sense gratification, either personal or extended. Only when a person gratifies the senses of the Supreme Lord can he be called a Mahatma or broad-minded person. In the above quoted verse from Bhagavad Gita, the words Devim Prakritim refer to the control of the internal potency or pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This pleasure potency is manifested as Sri Mati Radharani or her expansion Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. When the individual jiva souls are under the control of the internal energy, their only engagement is the satisfaction of Krishna or Vishnu. This is the position of a Mahatma. If one is not a Mahatma, he is a Duratma or a crippled-minded person. Such mentally crippled Duratmas are put under the control of the Lord's external potency, Mahamaya. Indeed, all living entities within this material world are under the control of Mahamaya, whose business is to subject them to the influence of threefold miseries. The Vika Klesha, suffering caused by the demigods, such as droughts, earthquakes, and storms. The Bhotika Klesha, suffering caused by other living entities like insects or enemies, and Adhyatmika Klesha, suffering caused by one's own body and mind, such as mental and physical infirmities. Deva Bhutama He Tava, the conditioned souls subjected to these three miseries by the control of the external energy suffer various difficulties. The main problem confronting the conditioned souls is the repetition of birth, old age, disease, and death.
Okay, let's stop there. Time is up. And
okay.
Just
so I
read a lot. So, one thing to remember is these threefold miseries.
Okay.
These are just part of the material world, so we have to live with it. We can't stop it. We can't blame anybody else. Sufferings from other living entities, we may blame somebody for that, but really it's just our karma. The mind and body, we might blame someone else, but it's our karma. And the adibhotic, then we can't blame anybody. If there's the adidivik, if there's an earthquake or a big storm, there's no rain and there's too much rain, or there's, plague, disease, you can't blame anybody. It's just even war. It's just the laws of nature. It's just the material nature replying to our sinful activities. So thank you all very much. I'm very impressed that there's so many there. And I'm trying to plan my visit to Africa. A little hard now. When to go. All right. Hare Krishna. Rupa Goswami ki jai.
Jai Ho. Thank you very much.
Shri Krishna, Shri Chaitanya Manobu.
Jai.
Tapitam Yena Bhutale. Swayam Rupa Damaya. Nati Swapadanti. Rupa Goswami knows the mind of Lord Chaitanya. So we follow him. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let's distribute lots of books. And Krishna will send you more and more books. Hare Bol.
Come now. Not many, Maharaj, not many yet. Still trying.
No. His Holiness Kavishana Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. When did you come back?
I'm very sorry for my late coming. Prabhu Chaitanya Prema.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I think Maharaj is already gone.
Yes, he's gone already.
Okay. That's okay.
He's very strict.
He's come from the charity. See Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Yeah. So Prabhujis and Matajis, you can stop the sharing first. Stop the sharing. So that we can see ourselves clearly. We want to appeal to all students that please let us